What is up guys, Groj Gaming here. Welcome back to another Clash Royale video. In today's video I've got another 12 win Grand Challenge deck for you guys. As you can see we go 12 and 2 there. Here is the deck that we use. It's 4.0 Elixir and it is a Mega Knight Inferno Dragon Graveyard deck. So it's got that poison and that zap bait aspect in there. It was created by Nalish, who is a pro player from Too Fresh. And if you didn't know, I've also joined Too Fresh as a competitive, I don't know, pro player, if you want to call it that. So yeah, he shared the deck with me. He created it last night. We were just practicing and it is just really strong because you've got the bats that need zapping, the skeleton barrel that needs zapping, the Inferno Dragon that needs zapping, the graveyard that needs zapping, and the Goblin Hut that needs zapping. And also there's poison bait in there because people want to poison the skeleton barrel or the Goblin Hut and then they can't use it on the graveyard. So that is something to look out for when you're playing with this deck. And obviously you've got the OP Mega Knight in there to squish pushes when needed. So it's a really solid deck. And what we're going to do is jump into a couple of replays before we play a couple of live games and also open up the chest as well. Let's jump into this Expo game that could be pretty tricky for some people, and we'll see how we do play it. I do believe I have the matchup in this kind of game because I have the Mega Knight to tank the Expo and also he doesn't have poison for the graveyard. But yeah, you can get caught out by graveyard players, Expo players if you're not careful. So we're starting fairly slow and then we're going to go with a Goblin Hut. Always a pretty solid starting move. You can play it as far forward, well, probably not too far forward, too close to the bridge because then it can get sniped easily. But you want to play it kind of a couple of tiles or 3 tiles above the King Tower. Obviously, I wasn't really sure what to do to start with because this was probably my second or third game with the deck. And that kind of shows how easy this deck is to pick up as well because I finished the Grand Challenge off from about 6-1 with this deck. So only really played 6 or 7 games with the deck itself and managed to be successful with it. So yeah, that wasn't a bad push. And the reason I pushed was because the Hunter is super squishy and he dies to poison and obviously if a skeleton hits him, that's pretty much him dead. So I knew he would have to play something else, which gave me that poison value. Mega Knight kind of a little bit further back, so not right on top of the Expo because I wanted to build up a bit more of a push behind the Mega Knight to support him because I knew he wouldn't have zap for the bats. Nice connection with the Mega Knight, another shot there, and yeah, maybe I did give him that value there with the log, but I wanted to put pressure on him after he'd spent his elixir on the Expo push. So we know in this matchup we can get the graveyard connected because he doesn't have the poison. So we just have to watch out for his defensive cycle and know when to go for a graveyard poison. The thing with this deck is you don't want to go too aggressive and go for like a Mega Knight graveyard poison push right in the single elixir time. You can do it like this, for example, without a tank because I know he's only got squishy troops that I can poison. But another way you can use the graveyard is with the skeleton barrel. So the skeleton barrel to tank, maybe with some bats behind the skeleton barrel, because then he's got a lot of things that the opponent either needs to zap or to poison in one push. And as you can see here, I think this guy does a pretty good job. So Hunter is pretty annoying against the Mega Knight. He gets a lot of damage done. Check that out. Nice freeze with the Ice Spirit. But what we're going to do here is we're going to pressure both lanes with an Inferno Dragon and a skeleton barrel, so we cycled pretty quickly, and he's used his log, which is his spell that he has to use on skeleton barrels. So then we're going to go in for the graveyard as well, because it's a lot of stuff that he's got to deal with that he doesn't have the log for. And now he does have a log, but we've already dealt the damage that we need to do. So 628 damage left, and we're looking very good to win this game. So the reason I've gone for a Goblin Barrel there, I'm going to pause it actually right now, as the Mega Knight is mid-air. So I knew that he would want to go with an Expo, so the Goblin Hut would tank, but I'm also going to let the Mega Knight tank in the opposite lane from the Expo, because that is the tower that I want to go for right now, and it causes him to split up his elixir, and he can't really effectively defend the Expo whilst he's got to defend the Mega Knight in the right lane. He does a fairly good job there, but obviously we've got he has to play a Hunter to stop the jump from the Mega Knight, and then we're able to just get an Inferno Dragon down there, which is awesome. So now I'm pretty sure he's used his guards, which then I know means it's just bats or a knight for the graveyard, and that is just not going to stop a graveyard at all. So we go ahead and take the game there. Hardly taking any damage on our towers at all. So this is definitely a very, very winnable matchup. You've just got to be careful with your Mega Knights and your Elixir. So if they catch you off guard, then you're going to be pretty screwed, because you only have the Mega Knight or the Goblin Hut to tank the Expo. So just be very careful. And then we're going to check out the 12th win, which I would say is kind of a counter deck, because I don't have a log for the Goblin Barrel, and I can't deal with a Princess that effectively with a log. I have to kind of poison that. So we'll just see how we deal with all these different cards in his deck. Obviously this deck is very, very strong right now. Kind of spammy Prince deck that can apply a lot of pressure to you. So the main thing in this matchup, and I believe you guys would face this matchup if you use this deck, is to kind of get rid of the princesses as best as possible and deal with the barrels as best as possible, and then you're going to be in a good position to win the game. So best option there for me was to poison the princess, get her out of the way, and then kind of see what's going on from here. Obviously I know once I've seen the princess and the royal ghost, it is going to be this annoying spammy bait deck. So this is the best option for the royal ghost, just a Mega Knight. And yeah, I don't really have too many options for the prince, because I pretty much have the Mega Knight. I need to use the Mega Knight for the royal ghost and the prince, so it's not great. But as long as you can kind of distract stuff long enough, then you'll be good. So here, a little bit of a misplay. I was meant to go in the right lane here, because my tower got slowed down and the bats died as well. So he did get a decent bit of damage, and then I had to use a Goblin Hut to take out the princess, which I guess is fine. We've got a Goblin Hut down and we're only a few elixir behind, so that's pretty good. You want to try and protect your Goblin Hut as much as possible. So obviously Mega Knight comes in there, and that does a good job, forcing him to defend in that lane as well. So yeah, Prince is definitely an issue, but as long as you can distract him, maybe get a Skeleton Barrel down to kind of tank the princess, and then that will explode and distract the prince as well. Obviously, as you can see, I don't have too many options for the Goblin Barrel. He goes with a nice placement in the front, so the bats have more time to travel before they destroy the goblins. So we're not looking too great right now. He's definitely got the advantage in terms of damage. So I need to make sure I can get basically the ideal push going. The ideal push is obviously a Mega Knight with all kinds of stuff on top of it, Skeleton Barrel, Inferno Dragon, and then you get that graveyard down. That would be ideal in different matchups. In this matchup, obviously you want to zap the barrel there with the goblins doing some work on it as well. In this matchup, they don't have too much to defend the graveyard with, so you can kind of go for Skeleton Barrel graveyard pushes. I think I do it towards the end when I realise that that is what I need to do. So yeah, I think I get the Mega Knight down just in time for that that Goblin Barrel. Otherwise that would have been pretty much game over. And I think, yeah, this is the kind of push I'm talking about. I don't think it quite works out. The Mega Knight doesn't quite tank, which would have been that would have been the ideal situation. But as you can see, I didn't use my poison in the right lane because I wanted to get rid of those princesses as much as possible. The princess is the one that is going to destroy your push the most, so get rid of her as quickly as possible. But as you can see, that graveyard still got a lot of damage even though we didn't poison on top of it. So here we go with another Skeleton Barrel push and a graveyard in there too, and now I can poison over here because I'm feeling like this is a good time to try and win the game. Nice little log from him, but we still get a decent bit of damage, kind of bringing the game back to our side. All we need to do now is defend a few more pushes and get a few more graveyards down, and the game is ours. I was thinking about going with the Mega Knight for that Royal Ghost, but it's just not needed right now. It's not the best way to spend my elixir, because as you can see, I kind of need the Mega Knight there for the barrel. So I'd probably suggest trying to snipe the princess with poison or Inferno Dragon whenever you can. And here, I think this is the winning push. So here we go skeleton barrel, which tanks for the graveyard. And obviously, let's just pause it a sec. So, we have two options here. We can either zap his tower, or we can zap the goblin barrel, and his goblin barrel would take out our tower, so we have to zap that. You've got to watch out for the goblin barrel. So that goes down, and all of my stuff is just wrecking the tower. The goblins and the skeletons do a great job there, and we take the game. Pretty close, but I think we played that really, really well. Trying to avoid any kind of connections with the tower. Goblin barrel's pretty annoying, obviously, but we did a good job. So let's open up the chest now. We've got 12 wins. We've got 12 and 2. I believe I played 6 or 7 games with this and only lost 1. So the previous loss was with something else. 22,000 gold. Archers, which are full. Mortar, which is full. Bomb tower. Ice spirit. Inferno dragon just got to max now. Zappies. Tombstone. Barb hut. Furnace. Nothing great so far, I have to admit. It looks like we're going to get an epic at the end, and it's 11 cannon carts, which is okay, I guess, because need to get that maxed at some point. Okay, good luck. We're in a live battle with this deck against, God knows, some peace. He's got some peace signs in there. I don't know what his name is, but yeah, good luck. Let's just split some bats at the back and go from there. Ooh, he's going to do that. I don't really want to do anything other than maybe get a graveyard poison push going on top of that. Get some value, maybe. Okay, Inferno Dragon at the back. This could be a bad situation for us. Okay, we'll get this down. And then we'll zap it once it all goes there. And then we'll get some bats in. And a skeleton barrel to tank. He's zapped on anything other than what he should have zapped on, I think. So this should be okay to stop this push. Yeah, that's great. Right. I don't know if he has a poison. I'm going to say not, because I think I saw some extra goblins in there that you don't usually see in this deck. So what we're going to do is go for a graveyard at the back, I think. And that's great poison value. I'm going to take that all day long. And if he doesn't, he'll probably just zap that or something. I'm not really sure. But we're going to get a decent bit of damage. Okay, Mega Knight comes down at a pretty... I don't know if that was a great time for that. I'm probably just going to let this go for now. Yeah, ate a little bit of damage but saved the elixir, which is fine, I think, for now. And I don't believe it has a poison, which means Graveyard is going to be very, very good for us. Goblin Hut here, so we can't get too much value from it. And then I think a Skeleton Barrel Graveyard Poison push would be ideal. As you can see, and then we're going to get the poison in there. Yeah, no, he has Goblins, so he doesn't have the poison in there, which is very good. Mega Knight comes down. But we also get just really great value on everything. The Skelly Barrel dies. We'll get an Inferno Dragon down here. Okay, let's zap that. And then zap. And then do that. Get that in there. Okay, we need everything to die quick. Okay, good. And then we'll go in for a Graveyard push. And this should be game, I think. I don't see how he's going to be able to stop all of that stuff. Yes, good game. Well played. So, probably a matchup that you would actually see with this deck. A Mega Knight Miner deck that doesn't have the poison. So you can win it once you recognise that they don't have the poison, and you can get that good value from it with the Skelly Barrel Graveyard push. Or you want to go on the counter push with the Mega Knight, Inferno Dragon, everything on top. I disconnected from the first game, and then a guy gave me a free win, which is weird. So a weird way to start a Grand Challenge, but yeah, we're 2-1. Let's just do this, put a bit of pressure on him, see what he does, maybe get some poison value or something along those lines. Okay, yeah, okay, that was good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now we'll probably go for a graveyard push. The Inferno Dragon should still get its value, I think. Minions, okay. Yeah, but we're getting a decent bit of damage. He's zapped as well, which is fine. And then what we'll do is we'll do this. And this should all go down because he can't zap it still. Okay, good. So then the bats can get their value and the goblins are going to do a good job as well. Zap those. Try and stop as much damage as possible. I don't know why he fireballed then. I don't even think he caught the goblin hurt. So yeah, doing pretty good. I think this is an okay matchup for this deck. Probably going to save the Inferno Dragon now for the Lava Hound. Let's just slow roll a Mega Knight in the back. Get an Inferno Dragon behind it, and that should be a pretty good, nice way to actually defend his push. I don't believe he'll be able to take out the Inferno Dragon that easily. Let's pull the balloon over to the side, and hopefully we have enough stuff to actually stop this balloon. I believe we do. He's already zapped, so I'm going to come in with... Oh, the Mega Knight connects to the tower. Boom. So that's a tower down, and we hardly took any... I don't think we took any damage on our tower then. He's going to give up, I think, so that is the power of this deck. It's so good. Inferno Dragon always gets its value because you can't spell it. You can't use spells on it, really, to destroy it. Boom. So, good game. Well played. Oh, nice. So guys, that is going to do it for today. We did 2 replays and 2 live games, as well as the chest opening and a bit of a deck guide. So I hope you can have some success with this deck. Just remember the tips that I said for using it. And also, obviously, again, big shout out to Nalish for showing me this deck. Definitely check him out on Twitter. I'll leave a link below for that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And then I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.